Hey, this video is aimed at people who are just learning to solo on guitar and are trying to do it over to blues. Blues is a great place to get started soloing because there's only three chords to have to deal with, at least initially, and you can kind of rely on one scale to get you started. So I'm going to assume you know the minor pentatonic scale. If you don't, look it up. It's probably everywhere. We're going to use it in the root position that everybody learns first. And I'm going to use the 1, 4, and 5 chord of the blues. They're called 1, 4, and 5 chord because they lie on the first, fourth, and fifth degrees of the major scale. So what I mean by that is A for an A, 1, 2, 3, 4 is D, and 5 is E. So A, D, and E are 1, 4, and 5 in A blues. Okay, so to solo, one trick to use is to think of each chord as the chord of the moment. When you're playing an A, yes, and you can use an A minor pentatonic scale as much as you want, but when the D chord comes along, it's good to try and play notes from the D chord, or think about playing things that are relative to the D chord. I kind of outline that chord by playing notes out of it. So what I'm going to show you here is how to play the flat third, major third of each chord. So in blues, it's really common trick is to go to hit the major third of the chord and approach it from one fret below, which is the flat third. So this is what that sounds like. On an A, it sounds like there's your A. It goes. So the major third of A is right there on 6th fret on your G string. If you're to play that A bar chord, you probably know, there it would be right there. Okay, the D, we're going to learn, there's the major third of D. It's an F sharp. It's on your B string on 7th fret. And for E, we're going to use 6th fret on your D string as your major third. So for each one of these, all you have to do is play a note below it and go right up to it. So for A, for D, for E. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just show you what that sounds like over each note. Here's A, here's D, if I know where D is. Here's E. Okay. So what do you do with that? Well, question and answer soloing is something that people use a lot to get started, and it's called that because it basically sounds like you're asking a question and giving an answer. And it sounds like that because just like when people speak, they ask you a question, their voice goes up, they give you an answer, their voice goes down. When you play, if you play a lick that goes up and then a lick that goes down, not a dick that goes down, if you play a lick that goes up and then one that goes down, it sounds like you're asking a question and then giving an answer. So, and it appeals to someone's ear because we're designed, or well, we've evolved to recognize those patterns in people's speech. So give it a try. So here's an example, a really simple example of using the question and answer over a blues. And all I'm going to do is use that little trick going up to the third from below, one fret below, and then I'm going to play a note above it. And I'm going to take that note out of the chord I'm playing over right then. Okay, so when I'm playing over an A, I'm going to do that little trick with A's major third, and then I'm going to play up to, say, the fifth of A or the root of A, something that's in an A chord, right? When I do it in D, I'm going to play up to that major third of D, and then I'll pick a note out of the D chord and play that. I'll go up, and then I'll go down. So here's what it sounds like. So I started in A, and we'll go, make sure you can see what I'm doing here. I'll go up. Okay, when we get to the D chord, we'll go. When we get to the E chord, it's the only one left that we haven't covered, we'll go. Okay, if we're on it long enough to play both up and down. So in a blues, here's what that sounds like. It'd be 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you get the point of what I'm doing. And if you listen to that, you can't. I'm not playing with anybody, but you can hear the chords I'm playing in the soloing that I'm playing. So that's something you can. It's a good thing to aim for when you're getting started, or even years down the road. Um, my other advice is don't play through a PV. This clearly isn't a lesson on good tone, but that's the only amp I have handy right now. So obviously that sounds a little lame. It's kind of like having a conversation with somebody where you're saying, did you go to the movie? I went to the movie. Did you find a place to park? I found a place to park. Was the popcorn good? The popcorn was good. It's a boring conversation that no one wants to listen to for very long. So you have to kind of mix it up. So you can use that question and answer thing, but you're going to have to throw in a few other elements into the conversation in order to make it sound interesting. So an example of that is just learn a couple licks that you like in blues, simple stuff that you can play reliably and you know works, and throw that in between the question and answer. So an example, you could do this. So sorry, I'll 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I was basically just playing a question and answer thing and then a little lick in between. If the licks I was playing in between sound like they're beyond you at this point, don't worry. It's like just play whatever you can in there. Get as fancy as you want, and you can get fancier with the question and answer. It doesn't have to be just a few notes. I mean, you can play as your question and answer, but just get started with something simple, and eventually you'll see it. And when you start listening to other people's soloing, you'll start to hear the question and answer thing in there quite a bit. It's in there all the time, and it's a really great way to start soloing. So I hope this has helped anybody who's trying to get started in blues. Um, if you have any questions about it that I've not explained anything well, which is entirely likely, just send me a message or something like that, and I'll try and clarify it. Thanks, and good luck.